So this is a business studies test question paper of attempt 3, September 2024. And it's a question paper from the Limpopo Provincial Government. So we are going to start all the instructions and information whereby it reads that this test consists of 3 sections. And we've got section A, B, and C. We have to answer all questions in section A. We have answer all questions in section A, and then 2 questions in section B, and 1 in section C. So we go to the structure of the question paper, whereby question 1 is the multiple choice with 20 marks, requires you to spend on average 20 minutes. We want question 2, 3, and 4, which consists of 3 direct questions. You answer any 2 questions. So 40 marks requires you to spend on average 40 minutes. And then we've got 5 and 6, 2 questions, whereby you choose 1 question, the 1 question with 40 marks, you have to spend on average 30 minutes. So basically, this is what we have according to a question paper with a total of 100 marks. So on the first part, which is section A, the first question reads, LP constructions are applied for the type of funding where the bank allows the business to withdraw more than what is deposited in bank account. So obviously, when we withdraw more than what is deposited in the bank account, we are going to leave your account balance as a negative balance, whereby it represents a bank overdraft as indicated on C. So on 1.1.2, the CEO of TM Advance used diagrams that shows the relationship between 2 or more data sets or value in a presentation. So what shows that, according to what we're given flowcharts, diagrams, tables, graphs. So you see that the one that shows the relationship clearly, we have got D, which is the graph. The graph is the one that shows the relationship between two data sets. So we have graphs. 1.1.3, the oral representation delivered to the audience. So which one is oral? Of course, oral, we are saying it includes the word of mouth, whereby it's the verbal presentation. So we have D. So number 4, the project manager used a planning tool that divides the business plan into smaller project stages and shows exactly what must be done. So we have work breakdown structure, action plan, timelines, a Gantt chart. So the correct response is work breakdown structure, whereby we have A. Number 5, when the business is able to continue without doing damage to the environment and the community in which it operates. What is that? We have got A, profitability. Profitability, go to B, flexibility, productivity, sustainability. So that is sustainability. We have D. Remember, the question reads and C. Let's just try to see. According to our 1.5, when the business is able to continue without doing damage to the environment and the community in which it operates, and you are saying it's sustainability. Then you go to 1.2, choose a description for column B that matches a term in column A, write only the letter. So we've got handouts and the first term that we have. So with that, we check. Remember, handouts is written communication, whereby we use a document to communicate. So according to our column B, where do we have an explanation that matches a handout? So we go down. So if you go to I read copies of presentation where the content of multiple slides are displayed on a single or multiple pages. So we have I as the correct response. Then our pie chart. We know that a pie chart is used to present information. So according to that, we have E, a circle divided into segments which are represented with percentages. That is a pie chart. So team, we check again which explanation matches team there according to our responses. We try to go down. A group of people organized to work together to achieve a common goal. So we have J. Then we've got entrepreneur. according to what we have, someone who converts a business idea into a business venture. So we have G, a business plan. According to what we have again, remember a business plan is a formal written document uh, that is used usually when you want to start a business. So according to our responses, you can check on H, a formal written document that outlines all the goals of a business, the methods and timeframes for attaining those goals. So if H is the correct answer. Then we move on to the next part. Remember, this is the our basic part, which has got 10 marks. So with that, we move on to the next section, which is section B, which is on business ventures and business roles. So according to our question 2, it's on entrepreneurial qualities and success factors, whereby the first question reads, name any two key success factors in a business. So you'd see that the success factors that we have, we can have strategic focus, profitability, sustainability, market knowledge, strong customer base, good leadership, ethics, controls, and governance, stable workforce, unique product or service. So all these are success factors. So you can choose according to the question. It only requires two, so you can choose any two. We go to the next part of our question, which says elaborate on the meaning of market knowledge. So market knowledge is knowing about the various aspects that could possibly impact on the business. It includes type of activities that a company can include in its core activities so that value can be delivered to the market. So this is market knowledge. And then in terms of 2.3, read the case study below and answer the questions that follow. It is Shepo Matamata, a role model for aspiring entrepreneurs are leading fearlessly and shaping the future of young minds. Shepo Matamata is a visionary entrepreneur who has defined the odds and kept her own path to success with her business through hard work and dedication. Temple has established a thriving business. So, in terms of the first question, it is identify three qualities of the entrepreneur in the case study above. Qualities of an entrepreneur. So we check what we have here. We see that it is leading fearlessly and shaping the future of young minds. So you see that these are good management and leadership skills. Good management and leadership skills as indicated on this part. We are saying good leadership skills and management skills. And then if you go to the next sentence, it reads Chebo Matamata is a visionary entrepreneur which indicates dreams with a clear vision. Dreams with a clear vision. So if you start from this sentence, that is a visionary entrepreneur. So it indicates dreams with a clear vision as a quality of an entrepreneur. So we check again. What do we have? It reads through a hard work and dedication, which is uh, high degree of commitment. Yes, there is dedication, so there's high degree of commitment, which is also a quality of an entrepreneur. So we check uh, again where whereby we have other parts that can also indicate whether we have other parts that can also indicate that. But according to the question, it requires three qualities which we have already identified. So we have these also mentioned in our other section whereby we are saying for the first quality, good management and leadership skills, which is highlighted where it reads leading fearlessly and shaping the future of young minds. So that's what we have on that one. And then dreams with a clear vision is indicated where it reads Tabo Matamata is a visionary entrepreneur. Then we've got a high degree of commitment through hard work and dedication. Then willpower to overcome obstacles, defied all odds, and kept her way to success. So this is what we have. But remember, the question only requires three qualities. So this is what we have on this part. Then we move on to the next part, which is 2.4, discuss strategies that businesses can use to ensure that they remain profitable and are sustainable. So on 2.4, we are saying the strategies are thorough planning, We have thorough planning, sound financial management, effective management of scarce resources and employees, maintaining a solid customer base. So these are some of the points, and also being ethical. So these are the uh, strategies businesses can use to ensure that they remain profitable. So in terms of the next question, advise businesses on the areas of improvements. Advise business on the areas of improvement. So areas of improvement is regularly evaluate the price of every product, operate from a plan based on its vision to avoid deviation, make sure that the money comes in quickly, keep business expenses to a minimum, set goals with reasonable milestones and timelines, evaluate the benefit of increased sales against the cost of marketing, identify and implement the technology needed to support their operations and growth, identify the target customer and what they do for them. So these are the areas for improvement that we have, which has got a maximum of 6 marks. Obviously, any 3 points can be lead you to get 6 marks. So this is what we have for question 2 with a total of 20 marks as indicated. So we move on to the next question that we have, which is going to be our question 3. So, question 3 is on transforming of a business plan into an action plan. So, name any two components of a business plan. That is our question 3.1. So, the components that we have is cover page, financial part, the marketing part, SWOT analysis, vision statement of the business, mission statement. So, these are the components that we have. Question 3.2, elaborate on the meaning of action plan. So, action plan, it is a detailed plan that outlines the action that is to be executed or done in order to reach the business goals. And also, alternatively, you can say it shows the activities that must be completed. It is needed to implement the business plan and show the activities will be organized to achieve the goals of the business plan. It outlines what resources are required to achieve objectives and meet the set timeline. So this explains the meaning of an action plan. Then we move on to the next question, which is 3.3. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. We are given the scenario of Tiara traders, and then 3.3.1, draw a Gantt chart using the information given in the scenario above. Use the table below as a guide to answer the question. So you are given activity week, person responsible. So these are the columns that we are having. So according to our scenario, we are given that in week 1, Mufu and Rachel will design the business logo. So designing of the business logo is week 1, which is the first week. So which is going to be indicated by shading and ticking in the first week where we have designing the business logo. And then in terms of week 2, we check again what does the scenario say. During the second week, Makase will open the bank account. So opening of bank account is week 2. So we see that we have got opening the bank account, which is indicated week 2 by shading and ticking. And then we go to the next week. During in the third and fourth week, Mimi will apply for finance. So we have applied for finance week 3 and 4. We see that we've indicated as shading and ticking again. So basically, this is our graph chart as indicated. Then we go to the next question, discuss the importance of timelines. What are the importances of timelines? So you see that importance of timelines, they help the project staff to project dates and set up plans to achieve set goals in advance. And also, they are vital to project managers as businesses try to meet and exceed client expectations. So obviously, when there are timelines, it means everything that is going to be done is going to be organized and done in the required period. So we move on as a continuation of importance of timelines. We have project managers use them as tools to get their jobs done, many of which are specific to a single company of a product. And also timelines serve as a planning tool that helps to indicate the due date date of completion for each of the short-term objectives and tasks. So this is what we have. And then we move on to the next question, which is 3.5, suggest project planning steps to the project manager. Of course, this is going to be the last question that we have on question 3. For the project planning steps, we have to define the scope of the plan to be done. For example, define what the purpose, phase, and last activities will be. You have to identify project supporters, break the project into activities, set time frames, and determine how much time you need to allocate to each activity. Set milestones, for example, determine what the main completion point is. We also have calculate the financial, human, and technical resources that need to be calculated. We've got further points that are also giving us the project planning steps. And this marks the end of our question, of our question 3. And of course, we have to move on to the next question, which is going to be our question 4. Question 4, first question, name any 4 examples of non-verbal presentation. So you see that we've got written reports. Remember that verbal presentation we are talking about presentations that do not include the word of mouth or the verbal. So we are saying written reports, handouts, charts, slides, brochures, graphs, and tables. So this is an example of non-verbal, examples of non-verbal presentation. So we go to the next question, which is 4.2. Identify the type of visual aid used by ALU during his presentation. Identify the type of identify the type of visual aid used by ALU during his presentation. So you'd see that the type of presentation used, it is the flowchart. We have the flowchart. Then we have the next question, which is now that we have the flowchart on 4.2.1, whereby it reads ALU used a symbolic representation of information using visualization techniques to illustrate the processes his department have followed. So this is the application of the flowchart. And then on the second part, we have ALU provided a printed information to boards of directors to accompany his presentation. So these are the handouts. And on the next part, which is now 4.2, point 3, ALU used a set of facts and figures arranged in columns and rows to compare the sale of last 3 years. So this is obviously the table. So we are saying 4.2.3, we have our tables. Then in terms of the next question, outline the steps to follow when drawing up an action plan. So when drawing up an action plan, these are the steps to follow. Summary of the vision, mission, long-term and short-term goals must be defined. Define the steps you would like to take to get there. Start with what must be done first, or prioritize. Identify the end point for each point, and then direct the steps in logical order. Think about any problems that may happen and review progress regularly. So these are the steps that we have. Then in terms of 4.4, explain the importance of an action plan. So in terms of the importance of an action plan, these are the importances that we have listed. As it enables the project to be achieved within the specified time. It helps the person responsible to be organized. It is a control measure against which standards and performance can be measured. It prioritizes activities according to their importance. We've got further points that are also correct that we are given. So with that, we move on to the next question. This is the last question that we have on question 4. Next question, according to the question paper, which is obviously going to be our question 5. According to our question 5, it is on business presentation. It's an essay question. So you are given information that you need to go through before you go to the requirements of the essay. So it reads, write an essay on presentation of information in which you include the following. Outline the importance of presenting business information. First part, you are also supposed to distinguish between verbal and non-verbal presentations and give examples of each. Discuss factors that the presenter must consider when preparing a presentation, and then comment the guidelines on how to prepare a handout. So with that, remember this is an essay. You're supposed to come up with your introduction, then you go to your main part, then you end with your conclusion. So in terms of a typical conclusion that we can come up with according to the essay is the this conclusion that we have that you can come up with. So this is what we so we go to the first part of our question. That is now the main part. It is outline the importance of presenting business information. So we have the importances of presenting business information. Is the first importance is business information provides management with information on data regarding important markets. It enables businesses to identify opportunities and threats in the market, allows management to develop new strategies in order to overcome competition in the market. So these are the points that we have in terms of importance of presenting business information. So basically, this is what we have. And we move on to the next part, whereby it is you have to distinguish between verbal and non-verbal presentation and give examples of each. Remember, verbal is communication by word of mouth, and non-verbal other communication that you can engage, which does not include the word of mouth. So, in terms of distinguishing between the two, that is verbal and non-verbal, we've got a table form, whereby we've got a column for verbal presentation and a column for non-verbal presentation. Whereby under verbal presentation, we are saying is the exchange of information using oral presentation or spoken, of course, spoken using a word of mouth. Then whereas under non-verbal presentation, it communicates by means of printed media. So this is what we have. Then we've got information can be heard, that is under verbal presentation, whereby under non-verbal presentation, information can be read. So basically, non-verbal, we are explaining it as written communication. Then verbal communication, information cannot be stored, whereby information can be stored as non-verbal presentation. So examples of verbal, we've got a video conferencing, we've got workshops, seminars, we have got public speaking, whereby other non-verbal, we can talk about detailed reports, handouts, charts, slides. So these are the examples that we have on that part. Then next part, you have to discuss factors that the presenter must consider when preparing a presentation. What are the factors that has to be taken into consideration when presenting a presentation? When preparing for a presentation. So you have to be clear about the purpose of the presentation. You also have to write down an outline of the important information that needs to be shared with your audience. You have to ensure that the main aim of the presentation is captured in your opening statement, and familiarize yourself with the content of the presentation to ensure a smooth flow of the presentation. Be familiar with the background of your audience so that your presentation speaks to their area of interest. So this is what we have on this part. And of course, on the next part now, which is going to be the additional part. So basically, we are saying this is your additional part, whereby it says recommend the guidelines on how to prepare handout. So what are the guidelines of preparing handouts? So we have them as listed, whereby the first one is structure information in a logical sequence. Use a eligible font size. Choose the image that may help to communicate the message. Make sure there are no grammatical or spelling errors, and use bright colors to increase visibility. We have further points that we can also include in terms of guidelines for preparing a handout. And of course, we have to end our essay with a conclusion. So this is a typical conclusion that you can come up with. So thank you for listening, and hopefully the video was helpful. And let's not forget to subscribe and share to our channel, and share the link to our colleagues who are doing grade 11 business studies. As for this video, I'm out.